Somebody has. Okay.
It works, man.
It's on the hour. No, it's recording on the computer. So, Karishma, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So the idea of this news is to communicate to the whole Phirse, and if you have any feedback, I'd like to hear, and so that we can help. Can you hear me clearly, Jay and Karishma?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can
yeah,
hear you, Shahid.
Oh,
but
okay.
can you post this link in home group, because in Meetup the timings and date are wrong.
I did post on the what that called community.
Community. Yeah,
Okay,
but
let me try to post in the home group. Yeah, you can home group. Okay. All right, so it's started recording already. I have to do the editing now. Home. Okay. All right. Home group. Okay. Kartia, let's see. Please join. So, sorry. I just want to cover two things, and then maybe you can ask any questions, any feedback. Number one is onboarding process. Because I get this question all the time. How do people get to the WhatsApp, and what is the criteria? What is the, how does it work? I think Karishma, Jay, and everybody knows already. So the Meetup group is our central hub. It's like, Active Directory, or the, the system where everybody has to be here. So once they join, they answer a few questions like, marital status, where do you live, those kind of thing. And we have got Bay Area, LA, Toronto, Melbourne, 4 meetups. And we pay around $200 yearly. Not, sorry, 6 months. So $400 per, I think, 1 year for that. Once they join, a lot of them don't talk. They just go silent and never come back. So to kind of more make it more exciting, so we made a group called Phirse Lobby. You might not be aware. It's a WhatsApp group. As soon as somebody joins Phirse and we get approval, he gets a link that, hey, there's a WhatsApp group. It's called Phirse Lobby if you want to join. Sometimes as an admin, I send them personal message that, hey, can you join this group? The idea is to, once they're in the WhatsApp group, they start asking questions, and then I share our other links. Like, for example, I made a Spotify podcast. What happens after you join, what you can do. So just to guide them, engage them, and share pictures. I kind of have a USA lobby. We have a Australia lobby, and there's a Toronto lobby. Anybody can join, any event organizers, I would more encourage, because that way you can post your events to the new members. Right now, there are a few, I think it's a bit quiet. It's hard for me to manage. Just I want to emphasize this thing to everyone. I'm just Praveen, or welcome, Praveen. So just to let you know, everybody, this session is recorded. So I will post in the YouTube. So later people can, see that. If you have any, issue, just you can drop off. You can listen later, or you can, close the camera. So I was just talking about the Phirse lobby. So idea is to engage. I have seen a lot of impact from Melbourne because I kind of get more involved there. Phirse USA lobby, Jay is there. I think anybody can join, any event host, and they can. Idea is to encourage people. Okay, once they join the event, then there is a onboarding session. There's onboarding group we used to manage, and there's a website. Thanks to Prof for actually hosting the website for us. PhirseGlobal.org. It's not a professional website, but there is an onboarding session form there. So anybody, new member who has joined an event, they can go there, they can fill up all the information, the thing I post in the home group. There are a lot of people joining. Okay, I'm getting nervous now. Hello, Mansi, welcome. I'll continue because this is recorded, so you should be able to see it later. I think she's joining the audio. Oh, wow, Guru, wow, okay. I probably make it quick, my part, so that people can ask question. I'll just continue the new members who is joining, because this is recorded, and I'll post in the YouTube later. I was going through the onboarding process about Phirse Lobby. Once they join an event, I would request the host, event host, like all of us are hosts probably, just share the link that, hey, if you want to join a WhatsApp group, this is the link, please join. or you can add them to your onboarding group. You can contact me if you have any issue. Of course, I'm the central point. There is Marzia, Jay, Freni, Kalpesh. These are the 4 members who help getting the new member. It's very important, and I would like to probably emphasize one thing, that when the new members come, we must treat them, more as a VIP. Talk to them, make sure they are, engaged. They don't feel bored. They feel lonely. And once the onboarding session done, onboarding is very important because now I get almost every day there's somebody from Melbourne or America or Toronto. It's divided the job right now. America is taken care by Jay, Kalpesh, Freni, and Marzia. Toronto is taken care by Mamta, Preeti, Mihir, and Jotin. And Melbourne, I do myself. Once onboarding done, then it's as usual, they join the home group. Now, you might or might not be aware, probably most of you know that there's a WhatsApp community. So once they're in the home group, they're part of the community. And America community has 50 groups. Australia has, I think, I don't know, 15, 20 groups. So they can join any of the groups if they want. They can see the list. Okay, I want to join. They can send the request. They're added there. We don't really need to share the link. Now here it comes. I request for help. So we need help for 2 reasons. One is managing the group, which is there's nothing much to do really. Just making sure the chat is and conform with the Phirse policy. There's no fight. There's no conflict. There's no heated tension there. That's the only role. Probably 1 or 2% is good enough. But more importantly, we need event host. That's another role. So karaoke groups, say example. I don't think we don't need too many your admins. I'm there, maybe Jay is there, and I think Rahul is there. So that's pretty much it. But anybody can host the events. You don't have to have an admin to become a host. And the more event we host, the better Phirse becomes. So I would urge and I would request that anyone can help. Please join the event organizing, do the organizing for Phirse. Of course, there are personal events by all means, but if you have to do, that's the help we need. We really don't need people to be admins, Admin doesn't have much role, and our groups are, wow, a lot of people. Welcome everybody again. So I'll just continue. So the help I was seeking, that if you can organize events for Phirse, that helps. In short, this is the onboarding process from the start, how people join the meetup. All Phirse members must be in the meetup group. The rest all are optional. You might join, you might not join. We have a Facebook group, global Facebook group for Phirse, for Australia one. Those are your choice. Next one I would like to say, escalation. I think that's probably most people are interested about. Now, we are how many people? Like in Australia, America, probably Jay, Freddie, they're volunteers. I'm just to emphasize this. This is volunteer. They are giving their time to make it happen. Freni, Kalpesh, Marzia. And here I've got, I think you will not know them, Wazia, Vinu, and Mamta, Jotin, and Mihir, Preeti in Canada. We need everybody to jump in there. Means when if there's a complaint, we get complaint. By the way, when you see in the home group, it's not really goes on. I would not say every day, almost every week there is something. And when you get a kind of conflict or kind of you have to resolve, how many people we are talking about? 3, 4 people? We can't really do that, So we have guidelines. If there is a straightforward, it's not there, it's easy, like, some kind of inappropriate message or something, that's easy to decide. But when complaint comes, okay, this is somebody has done it, we need to talk to both persons. Our role is not to be a judge. Our role is to talk to both sides and try to mediate them. If it doesn't work, then someone has to leave. I'll be very upfront about it. So say the way we do that, I'll just explain the process, and please give me feedback if I'm wrong or if you have better idea, we can adopt. We're always open for idea. Someone send a message that, hey, this is what happened. Then I send this message to the escalation group. We have escalation group with, as I said, the 4 of America. Also from Melbourne, there is one guy called Jay. All of are there. And then I kind of say, this is the escalation, but I don't give the names. This is absolutely important for us to maintain the privacy. So we must not share the name unless it has to. Then I find, okay, 1 or 2% from the escalation group that, hey, who want to help? Who has got the bandwidth? Who has got the time? Who has the interest? And then I give this name to the person who kind of complain, both sides, that are you okay with these names? Or do you have any personal conflict? Maybe, I don't know. They have to, both sides has to agree that these names are okay for them. Then they start talking to them. And this takes time. Sometimes people complain, say Friday evening and Saturday morning, they're asking for resolution and saying that, okay, kick him out. It happens. I have not probably opened up like that, but I'm saying it right now. This is not a realistic expectation. So if you just send a message of things and say that kick him out, okay, we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen unless there's a really, really clear case of, insult or your inappropriate message. That's different. So we give it to the escalation group, and then we 2% or 1 or 2% who agrees that we take them separately, and we don't even disclose the names of the person in the escalation group. That what is the, because sometimes it is delicate. There's a relationship. We are everybody is probably most of us singles, and something goes wrong. We must not give the names, the person in conflict to anyone unless it has to be. So I'm just continuing this one. So I post this one, say, for example, I'll just give an example. Frenny has, okay, I can help. Or Marzia has said, I can help. So I give it to them because they're in the local area and they can talk to, the idea is to talk to both sides and then find out a recommendation. So that's all we do. And we may be wrong, we may be right, means in my position or in their position, somebody else, probably the result will be different, but that's all we can do. I'll just mention one. Somebody messaged me that it's about, I think, access matter. Oh, if you are working in Google, the policies like that, they would stick to the policy. And my thing is, we're not Google. We don't have a manpower. We don't have nothing. If you want to help, please be part of the escalation. I'm welcoming everyone to be part of the escalation group. So it's not that you have to be, resolve each problem, but if there's a case, I'll give it to you. You resolve it, you help it, and you can give the recommendation. So you're part of it. Please don't expect that, all of these 4 people will stop doing everything. They have kids, they have full-time jobs, and they take time, just give us some time. And we need your help. The latest one, I think I would thank to Lavena. I'm especially mentioning this right one. She had some not happy means she has a disagreement with certain policy we have. I think I already mentioned that about the if people getting into relationship and breaking up. By the way, we really don't care if people getting into relationship or breaking up, as long as it doesn't disturb the flow. This is not a dating group, but if you're staying together, that happened to me also. But when the toxic effect spills into Phirse, that becomes our problem. Then we have to take something about it, right? So Lavena has come up and saying that we are going to make a policy. She will propose, and then I'll put on the vote, and then see if it passes. We do it. Now there are few things are not negotiable that I will not stay with that. Like it's not going to be a political group. It's not going to be a religious group, or it's not going to be a dating group. Other than that, anything up for change. Another example I'll give. So there was a policy saying that no private picture should be posted in the Phirse groups, right? And a few members left the group and sending me messages saying that I don't agree to that. And most people don't agree to that. When they said most people, it means they and few friends of them. I put on the vote, including me, I voted that it should be allowed. I voted included. It was refused by the members. So when you say everybody says, probably not everybody. So unless you put on the vote, we don't know that. So that's pretty much my thing. It's open for any question from anyone, any suggestion. Please feel free to go ahead. You don't have to open the video because the video, if you do, then it will transmit onto the YouTube. If you're okay, by all means. Any questions? Simi, I think you wanted to help on the policy, right?
I'm actually walking from a hike. So
okay.
I'm already part of the group, you know, Krishna, me, myself, Lavanya,
Okay,
and
great.
Ruchi. I think there's
Awesome.
1 or 2 more people. And we have a meeting tomorrow morning to come up
Wow.
with better ideas to accommodate, you know, healthy culture, like you said, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
about Phirse and maintaining respect for others. And we are working on it. Thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more participation in managing. I want to be completely actually outside. Like, you know, if the members can manage, that is perfect. Anybody else has any comments, any feedback, anything you want to ask me? Just feel free to ask anything.
Yeah,
Any question?
Shahad,
Yeah,
I have a
Ratish.
question. Yeah, so asking question, how prevalent is this kind of cases, you know, like people getting into relation? Are you talking about, you know, a one-off incident and we are making a policy out of it? Or is it like, yeah, it happens every time and we need a policy?
It's not one-off, definitely. It is not one-off. It's happening from day one of it. They're not even America, Australia also. I would say by now we have 7, 8 cases. But again, I'm trying to emphasize again, people break up, other breakup happening, but we don't know. And there's no toxic effect coming into your groups. We don't care about it. Means we're really sorry about that happened, but it doesn't impact us. But when it impacts us, then people start a bad mouth. Bad mouthing is not allowed by any means, even not an ex. Like, you know, that's just a big no-no. Because if we start talking bad about each other, then why Phirse? Why to stay here even? It doesn't make any sense, right? So it is prevalent. My answer is.
Yeah. So on that note, you know, the other question is that aren't you opening like a Pandora's box? You know, like deciding who has to leave, etc. Right? You know, people get into issues.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
you specifically, but the group. You know, the escalation group, right? You know, so.
Okay. Yeah. Let me answer that. We are not deciding who will leave, who will stay. We are deciding on a policy. Then policy might say, we don't care. As long as you don't badmouth each other, I don't know. I don't care. That could be policy. But we should discuss about it. Why should we hide about it? This is part of our life, right? And whatever comes from them, we can go for voting on that. So people say, this is the right, this is the wrong. You might say that you might think certain, I might think certain way, and that may not be acceptable for everybody else. So policy should be there, no? It's not about like, we're not telling anybody, first, again, we don't want anybody to leave that group for their lifetime. Once you are joined, always in Phirse. But yeah, I think I answered that one. Mukul, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Just raise your hand.
No, sure. Hey, thanks for doing this. Like, I know we definitely need policies around. Otherwise, this is going to be very hard to operate such a large group. I think I just want to be cautioning that we are not like sort of building upon what Ratish was saying earlier. Instead of making the policy around, you know, the breakups and stuff, maybe we should have the policies around whether what's the policy stay in Phirse in general. And as long as those policies are not violated, then so it is not about particular issue about breakups or people having connections or relationship and then breaking up.
Yep.
It's about generally following the rules and guidelines of staying in the group. That's probably what we should be focusing a bit more on.
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that. So the problem happens, say, conflict happens all the time. This is nothing new. I get a complaint and it's easy to resolve because once off it happens and it's done. But when there's a breakup, both sides starts bombarding with lots of complaint. And I don't know what to do at that time. That becomes a full-time job to manage just that one. Not one case, multiple times it happened. You know, it becomes a full-time job, our case. Okay, he has complained, she has complained. It just keeps go on and on and on. That needs to stop. We don't have that bandwidth to, you know, there's a policy, no bad mouthing. But when both sides start complaining each other, then what do? We need a policy for that.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely. I think my point is, I think probably what now some of the group members are talking about is that we're just going to have a specific policy around people getting into relationship and then break up and how it'll be handled, and then deciding the fate of who end up staying and not. I think my recommendation there is actually, because conflicts can happen not just because of relations and breakups. Conflicts can happen for many reasons.
Anytime, yeah.
Together and they can have some issues. The finances issues or whatever, right? Basically.
Yeah.
So what is the general rule of kind of? So I think that anyway, I'm repeating myself here.
Moni is calling me. I understand that. That's what I explained. Like, when say violating, bad mouthing is a policy, we get once in a while probably complaint. But when there is a breakup, you can feel it. If you're the admin, that they start bombarding you with messages. So what we are trying to do, we are not trying to. Maybe they might come up and say that we don't need any policy. That's fine too. Let's see what the board says. It means led by Lavina. You can join there and give your feedback there and come up with a,
Sure, I think
you know what I'm saying. Karishma, go ahead. Sorry. Karishma, go ahead. You're mute. You raise your hand.
Yes.
Mm.
Sorry, Shahid.
Mm.
So my question is around +1 policy of Phirse. I've been asked by 2-3 members recently. Can you hear me well? Sorry,
Yeah,
I have a throat.
I can hear you. You're not Karishma from San Ramon, right?
I am that Karishma from San Ramon.
You have a different voice.
Really?
Okay.
Her sound is her voice
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I have a very bad sore throat.
Oh, you're having a lot of party probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sounded very different, Karishma.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for my bad
No,
voice.
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm not well.
Yeah.
I'm not well. So my quick question is, few people have recently contacted me for +1 policies.
What is +1 policy?
Like
Sorry.
they are RSVPing for an event.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to bring a +1. Say, for example, someone is visiting them from India, or someone is from US, another state, or they want to bring. They met someone in any dating site. They just want to bring as +1. What is our +1 policies? Even for members, we remove from Phirse. What's the +1?
Yeah, of course. So depends on the host. First of all, no ex-member should be joining any Phirse group. So that is the whole purpose of removing them. So they're not part of it. That's out of the question. But in terms of, like, say you host a karaoke event, you allow, host guests is allowed. If you allow, they'll come with guests, and who guest, it really doesn't matter, right? Unless it's the ex. Of course, the ex are not allowed in Phirse, and also the ex-members. Other than that, it depends on the host, actually, not about Phirse. It's for any meetup, not Phirse. Like if you go to any, like, I don't know, BKB or any other groups, the same policy, right? It depends on the host. I have nothing to say about that, actually. So
no, I agree. I agree with you.
No
to give you an
ex-members
example,
and no ex-members and no exes. Exes for reason, right? So should not be.
yes, I agree 100%. But like for an example, in the event organizer group, Kalpesh asked if he could bring a friend, and then people started saying, are they married, not married? That's when we as an event organizer get scared. Why so much trolling happens? So if we can have a general rule, then it's clear cut to everyone.
I think this is, I don't know, from the day one of Phirse, that was the way. Like we have some members came as a guest, and then they liked it to join it. Means not that so but that's a standard policy for everywhere. So anybody can. It depends on the host, I would say. If member don't like, they don't join. And another thing, sorry, I like to bring here for host. Please cooperate with the host. Sometimes I hear like one host is organizing something like game night, and it's very important for her. I'm telling her, you just shouldn't barge in, and you don't like it, and you just don't listen to her or don't listen to the directions of that. The whole point is gone. If you are not interested in gaming, don't join there. I'm not interested in game, so I'll not go there. But please respect them, and they're taking a lot of effort to make it. Without them, Phirse is nothing, right? Jay, sorry, go ahead.
Hi there, Shahid. So I just wanted to also reiterate on what Mukul was stating. So maybe perhaps we could focus on a conflict resolution based policy rather than stating, okay, while dating or because of dating this is occurring. So perhaps we could just keep it generic, and even if it is because of someone breaking up, and that and we need to help out in some way to resolve the issue, but can't we keep it separate, like say just a conflict resolution policy without having any other tags attached to it? Wouldn't that be easier and perhaps a little bit more fairer?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, before I answer, Jay Melbourne is Jay Melbourne. He's not from Australia. Our Jay singer Kishore Kumar Jay. He's not that person. He's a very good friend of us, and he lives in Melbourne, one of the very active member in Phirse. So yeah, that is 100% right. That's what we are reevaluating the policy. That's an easy way for us as an admin. Hey, if you're kind of fighting the one person out, that's an easy way. So we don't, spend too much time on that. When you are saying that, okay, let's go for each policy violation and address that, then you're opening a lot of cases, a lot of allegations, a lot of conflicts. And again, I'm open for it. Let's see what Lavanya says. Means just contact Lavanya. I think she's talking to few members and coming up. And if they say that we don't need a policy, just do that. Okay, let's see what people says. We can. I have no kind of direction. Only thing, I want to reduce the amount of time we spend on that. That is whole purpose. Otherwise, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's see what they come up with. We'll go from there.
Absolutely. I mean, you're gonna need some template to run with. If you not have a template and checklist, then every time you're gonna reinvent the methods.
Yeah, and after this session, if any one of you are interested to help me in conflict resolution, please, I will make a group, and I'll apply the same policy. If some conflict comes, I'll give it to you guys. I'll select 2 person. You spend time, come up with a recommendation, and we go from there. That would be perfect, actually. Please send me the message me, contact me, and we can probably get going on that. Yeah, go ahead. Any other question?
I would actually reach out to Lavanya as well and just provide my reviews, comments.
Jay, I think you don't know Lavanya. She's in Bay Area. So I'll give you the contact number. You can probably also contact her. Really good initiative. Sure. I'm really excited about it. Anything else?
Shahid, this is Jay here, Jay from US. So you had actually mentioned something about private events and not to contact Phirse. Can you maybe talk about that?
Yes, thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, so Phirse is just one meetup group out of 200 million, and there are parallel groups like BKB, Jaiho, many other groups there, right? So we cannot, and we should not, we must not get involved in any matters outside Phirse. So within Phirse, there you become friends, you're very good friends. You make a private event, and there's something goes wrong. We should not be contacted. Means we should not get involved. It is not our place to say anything in that one. Only place we'll be involved with where it is Phirse events or some kind of Phirse chat, of course, that is very important, and Phirse events, not a private event. Please separate that completely. Even your members are from Phirse. We should not. That's too much audacity on our side. Prof, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, because there's a lot of carryover between these different groups, you mentioned earlier, like the bad mouthing between one person and another. If that's not occurring inside a Phirse event or on a Phirse chat, then is that not just getting involved into something that's not directly Phirse, or how do you manage that?
Yeah. We shouldn't, because the events we are handling, those conflict is within Phirse event, like in a hiking, something happened in the hiking, or karaoke, which is Phirse event. So maybe it starts somewhere else and end up into Phirse events. That's when things come into play. Otherwise, definitely, we're not going to get into anything non-Phirse.
So to follow up with that, then isn't dating outside of Phirse's thing then?
Yeah. Okay. Dating is outside Phirse, of course. I think I couldn't make it clear. Again, let's do that. So we really don't, I would not say what care, but no, we're not really concerned about dating, breakup, nothing at all. No concern. But when there's a complaint that there's a event like, say, karaoke or hiking and people fighting each other, and then I see both sides complaining at the same time, that becomes that, okay, this is kind of, this is a after effect of the breakup. And
right,
then,
so you're talking about when their disagreement carries into a Phirse event.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, understood.
And even relationship happens, breakup happens within Phirse, it doesn't have the effect on us. It really means it's just not our place to talk.
Right. So my understanding was a little bit different, that we were trying to regulate the
Oh,
dating.
no.
More sense. Otherwise, we're just opening up a can of worms, and you're going to get thousands and thousands of complaints.
Yeah. Let Lavena manage it. Let's see what she comes up with. Mukul, last one, because at 30 minutes I'll have to go.
Okay. Sounds good. And I think I just wanted to kind of dovetail into the question that Pro was bringing up earlier. I sort of maybe I'm reflecting my opinion here rather than question. I think strictly confining ourselves to the Phirse based events or the organized events, I think it's all about the conduct and the intent of the person, right? And even if something is happening between two Phirse members outside of a event that is hosted, it is likely to, basically have a bearing impact, in the organization as a whole, right? Whether they come back or they will have the whole negativity or whatever. So completely being oblivious to that may not be a
yeah. Okay.
I think we need to probably know how people are conducting outside as well. If somebody comes and complains,
isn't it too much? We are interfering to people's life, like means what they're doing in their personal life. Means I'm not sure about that. That's number one question.
Usually people are not going to be talking about it. People are only going to come and let you know because if there is going to be something of significance, and it is impacting them in some ways already.
There's three things can happen. Number one, there's a personal event or private events or private party. Something happens and we don't know about it. Okay, they're Phirse members. Okay, we don't care about it. Something happens, then the subsequent, kind of spillover from there, the environment in Phirse starts getting negative, and that's when we get involved. I don't think so. What happens here outside Phirse means, and people complains from there without in the Phirse, and we don't have the manpower. So Mukul, to answer you, means it needs a lot of resources. Like one of the member, we are talking about some kind of X issue, and there's a policy, and somebody messaged me, if you're working in Google, seriously, this question, Google, and if there's a policy that needs to be maintained. We are not Google. We are not nothing. We are just a meetup group, and we don't have a manpower. We have nothing. What you're saying, if you are interfering into any personal events, they're Phirse members. First thing, I don't think so. It's really right for us to do that. That's not our reach.
No, just to clarify, I'm not suggesting that we should in any way or form control what happens in other events outside. I'm more concerned about the conduct part. Right. It's basically if there is something that not holds to the standard of, let's say just taking any company, right? Even if something doesn't happen inside the premises of the company, but if you hold yourself outside the company in a way that is not appropriate for you to be, for example, be employed at that company anymore, then company will take action.
What he's suggesting that we should interfere into outside Phirse events if it is not a Phirse meetup or Phirse event. Is that such?
Not interfere in the event, but sorry, somebody's trying to say something.
Okay, can I reiterate what you're
please go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so I think what Mukul is saying is there may be events and issues that occur outside of Phirse that then bleed over into Phirse.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me finish. So what he's talking about is the conduct. So the rules and guidelines are about conduct within Phirse, not necessarily the fact that they had a breakup outside of Phirse. Is that
right? Breakup is not. I'm not so much concerned about.
Okay. Right. We can talk about it, but my demarcation is when it spills into Phirse. That's the actually point of engagement. Before that, we should not get involved into anything. So the reason I'm saying, and the Jai is saying, with Jai is the escalation, we get bombarded with something happened in this group, and we need to, people complaint comes to us. Is it a Phirse or non-Phirse event? I don't care. Then means I don't care means of course we care, but we don't have really bandwidth, and we don't have the jurisdiction to even talk about it. Means that's
I think Shahid, also just to add, right? I think Phirse is WhatsApp groups and Phirse are the events. right? So as long as that doesn't interfere or that doesn't bleed into any of the WhatsApp groups, or it doesn't interfere into any of the events, then we are good, right? Because that's what Phirse is about.
Yeah, right? And again, by all means, please join the escalation group. And we can talk about it. I'm up for change to any policies, anyone, except those 3 fundamental things I told. And help us to keep it going. So it is 30 minutes. I think we're on time. We'll do it every month. If you have any question, I think next time I will ask the questions in advance so we can discuss it. And thank you everybody for participating. Actually, I'll close it. I'll have to jump in another call. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thanks for doing this, Shahid. This was good.
Bye.
Awesome.